Well, we're going to start just a quick reflection on the weekend and what a performance, and you're into the last four of Europe again. There's great excitement around the club, but I guess in some ways you've got to bottle it as well.
Well, no, I mean, I think you just got to enjoy it. You've got to embrace it. I think probably one of the mistakes we've made, over the last 3-4 years, even when we were getting to finals, probably haven't embraced just enjoying the journeys quite as much as you should, because once they start to get there, you start to have a massive expectation that they're going to come, and when it starts to falter, it starts to build a lot of pressure. So we let the guys get on with things for a couple of days. Today is the first real prep moving forward type of day. We got a few things out of the system yesterday. Now we got to knuckle down and get on with the week. There's a lot of challenges playing Leicester. They're a very good side. They're the current champions. They're on a lot of good form. They've got a good team there. They collectively know where they're heading. They got given a bit of a bloody nose last week, having played well in large parts of the game, I thought, and so it's going to be a challenge. Back at Welford Road, they've been very, very good. We haven't been great away from home, so everything says that it's a massive challenge for us. But we're starting to embrace those things a little bit, and I think I'm not going to set massive goals for the lads. Again, I'm going to set them the same goal they've had these last 2 weeks. You walk back in the changing room, you feel proud of what you've done, you look each other in the eye, you can have a beer together, and you're content with what you've achieved during the week and on the game. That gives you a start point, and it's because we're achieving some start points that the improved performances have happened.
What have you seen in these last few weeks, particularly after Bath, that has encouraged you, and was it the kind of response that you craved? You were angry after Bath, but
yeah, I think what the big thing is we've got to drive to just not beat ourselves. And there was a few things that came in the Bath game that really needed to come out. And actually, I'd like to think, and like I say, this could easily come around and just kick me straight in the teeth, couldn't it? Because I don't know how we could turn up at Leicester and you see the similar issues. But the Bath game needed to happen, because it needed us to be able to stand in the room and go, guys, you all understand this. When we look at this picture, when we look at this 3 minutes of video, we do all get what's going wrong here, don't we? We do understand the role you're all playing or not playing here. And it allowed us to just have some of those conversations that I think they just give you a little bit of clarity. And I think then, we put a bit of pressure on senior players with some young guys coming in. You put 2 young nines in there, put some pressure on your forwards, and they either stand up or they crumble, and they've stood up. I've been really impressed with how the lads as a group have made the performances come together. They stood up for each other, they've stood there together, they've grown, they're strong, they've been stronger as a team than they have as individuals these last couple of weeks, and that's what's really important. That's the thing we've got to bottle. Now, the big challenge for me is to make sure the guys get guided in the right way for that to happen at Leicester. And that will be our challenge, because after 2 big emotional games, following it up with the 3rd one is going to be huge. That's why we've got to get this training week right, and we've got to say the right things and get the lads saying the right things, and just get them talking in the right way, and just get them guided in the right way.
You said over the last few weeks we're not quite in last chance saloon. You said it today, we are in last chance. You've got to go for it now.
Well, we are. We've been going for it for quite a while. It's not necessarily been happening. The Bath, that's probably why the Bath game was so disappointing, because you look at that team, however you want to dress this up, I thought Bath were very good on the day, and they completely deserved to win the game. But they were a team that was bombing the Premiership. Other teams were going there and winning. We're a team sitting there going, right, well, we want to be in the top 4, we want to be going for the Premiership at the end of the season, we want to go for Europe at the end of the season. And we turned up there, and so many of our basics just didn't function. Our resilience was so poor. We could see the try, but then we scored 2, we're back up, and you kind of think we should be in a position where we can maybe take control there. And we never even looked like it. We just went penalty ridden. We looked a little bit panicky. We've shifted some of that in the last couple of weeks, but that shift has got to stay there when you go to a place like Leicester, or else we genuinely won't give ourselves a chance. But again, as I said, for me, it's not going to be about the winning and losing. It's going to be about looking at the guys and seeing how hard they work for each other. If they're working hard for each other, I'll never have a complaint. Never have before in the Premiership. If they do that, we'll be good. That's as simple as that.
How do you describe the Jekyll and Hyde nature of home and away this season? Is it a difficult one to put a finger on?
It's been very difficult. But I think people probably need to understand there's been a lot of disruption this season. I know that law, everything you say in a sporting context can be like a little bit of an excuse, and sometimes it is. But you think how over the course of how much disruption has been about who's staying, who's going, how much negativity has been around everything from the outside. Is what's wrong at Exeter? Why aren't they doing this? Why can't they keep these players? What's the problems? You know, is it financial? Is it happiness amongst the group? Is it this? Is it that? You know, everyone's been checking everything in there, and that has a rub off within the group. And I think we've just been a bit more resilient at home because we've won some tight games at home in the league as well. We haven't been massively dominant in many games. Do you know what I mean? And we haven't. You know, we had a real game where we clicked and we came together away at Bristol, which was great to behold. And I kind of thought that might have been us turning the corner a little bit, but we didn't quite maintain it. But I think that kind of shows you that we've just got ourselves a little bit settled down, and like I say, we just guided the guys back onto what's really important. And just what's really important, like I say, is just being proud of what you've done, and you've worked hard for each other, and you can genuinely have a beer together and go, all right, mate, that was all right, wasn't it? You know, winning or losing. And I think that's the key for me, is that becomes the absolute foundation for how we play.
You said in the post-match at the weekend that for those outside of the club, the castle was crumbling, but you've kept that inner belief in your coaches and your players, and I guess you're seeing the fruits of that now with these last few weeks, that it's not as bad as everyone makes out, is it?
Well, at the end of the day, if you're in the top four in Europe, you tell people, you know, if that happened in European football, everyone thinks it's amazing, you know what I mean? And it happens in rugby, and you know, but I think the big difference for me is I looked at the crowd the last couple of weeks, and I think they're really seeing the energy amongst the players and how much they're caring. That's all I want to see, because that just creates everything. That just changes everything. And then if you win, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, because that creates all the energy within a group. I think that's what we just got to focus on the good things and just move away from focusing on the negative things. And we've probably spent too long as a club focusing on the negative things as well. And we've just got to start shifting our whole narrative towards what's good about being here. This is a great rugby club. It's achieved some incredible things, you know, not just in the last 10 years, but you know, 50, 60, 70, even longer years. You know, there's been some incredible occasions this rugby club has been involved in. And I think we've just weirdly become, you know, very negative. And there's obvious reasons for that. There's the cost of living crisis has dented everybody a bit. COVID dented everybody. The club's financial position has massively changed from where it was pre-COVID to now, and we've got to rebuild that. You know, so there are reasons to have some worries, but we've got to just try and shift into positivity mode, which is going to be, let's enjoy watching these lads play rugby. You know, where I go back to this every now and again. They say this to myself. We're a members rugby club. You know, we are the very basis of the reason for us to be here is for young lads to come and play a game of rugby. That's what member sports clubs are about. You're created to allow the people who come play sport at your club. That is it. It's not for someone to make money. It's not. You know, if you win trophies along the journey, that's fantastic. But you're here to let lads play a game of rugby. Now, we seem to have lost that a little bit, and I think we just need to reinvigorate that and get back to that, because that's what I've always driven with the guys, and it's what's ultimately led us to enjoy ourselves as a club and as a team and as sport success.
Rob, I know one of the fixtures you always look out for is Leicester away. It's the acid test, but you love the whole occasion there. It's amazing when you get there.
I think it's brilliant there. I remember going in, sitting in the grandstand the first time I went there, and I'm looking around and going, this is what it's about. This is why we worked so hard to be in the Premiership. You know, in that first game there, we played exceptionally well. You know, I think we really shocked them. I think we scored 2 or 3 great tries. You know, I actually think their crowd maybe won the game at the end, because I still think the referee looked around and went, hold on a second, what's happening here? And then the crowd got going at a couple of 5-metre scrums, and that changed the game. And I think that's what I really like about it there. You know, you sit in the grandstand still, and there's supporters there I've probably seen for 10 years who say, "Hi Rob, how's things going?" The same supporters who've, you know, I've walked up there sometimes and they've gone, "I'll take it easy on us," and I've gone, "Yeah, all right, yeah, we'll see." And then now they've come to go the other way around. "No, we'll take it easy on you today, Rob." Because things change, the swings and roundabouts, and it's just a great stadium. You know, that grandstand there you sit in is got a great little atmosphere in it. And it's what playing the Premiership should be about. You know, you should go and relish playing it under those challenging circumstances at the great old Premiership grounds. You know, they've got a fantastic history, including being the current champions. Why on earth can't we not go there and enjoy that?
Team news-wise, how are you looking after the weekend?
Pretty good. Obviously, people watching the game will see there was times when he got very physical. Obviously, Nosey was struggling on a strapped-up knee. We brought him off really as soon as we felt we could. Janis took a couple of bangs. But we've got other guys available. You know, we've got over Niggles as well. We've actually got a pretty fresh group that we can introduce some freshness, but we can keep also some maintenance on the guys on form. It's going to be a good team we take down there, and we think we've got a bit of a plan that can challenge Leicester, and let's look forward to playing well.
Is that from watching the Leicester game last week and other games?
Not so much. I think some of it from us playing against them at the start of the season. Now I know they're back on form. They probably were off form at that stage, but they're back on form now. So some of that, some of us getting a few things right in that game. Some of it from a couple of recent games where teams have managed to find a bit of attacking space. So it's a bit of a combination of a few games. But at the end of the day, we've got to try and make the game about ourselves. Leicester will do everything they can to make the game about them. You know, that battle is the one that decides the game.